Hey guys, Thetcglover here. Today's going to be a video talking about rulings. This will be the first video in a segment where I want to talk about rulings to do with cards that are relevant in the meta, because I could talk about stuff like Absolute Zero, for example, because there's a lot of different weird things like how if you destroy it while it's face down, it doesn't get its effect, for example. I can understand that in this game there's a lot of people who don't understand rulings. Obviously, Konami are trying to improve their card text with the problem-solving card text to try and improve the ruling situation, because a lot of time cards contradict each other even though they sound the same. It's really weird how that is, but to be honest, there's nothing really we can do until they change the wording on the cards. Anyway, I picked up 4 different scenarios that will somewhat appeal to the meta base, but at the same time it's like just good stuff to know. Probably will know them already if you actually do play meta, but if you don't, then if you're actually just playing a rogue deck like Dark Worlds, or you're playing 6 Samurais, and then you have to come up against meta decks like Spellbook, Evil Swarm, or Dragon Rulers and stuff like that, you need to make sure you know these rulings, because if it comes down to the situation, you don't want to be the one who takes their word for it and then you lose because you took the guy's word for it and just because he's playing a good deck. So anyway, the first one is Thetcglover Emeral. The way it's worded, obviously the best Thetcglover Emeral effect out of the 2 of them is going to be the one where you shuffle 3 cards back in. Before you activate Thetcglover Emeral's effect, you must have 3 targets in your graveyard. And I don't mean you detach and then you have 3 targets. You have to have 3 targets already in your graveyard. So when you detach your Thetcglover Exceed material, then you actually have 4 different targets to choose from in your graveyard. Obviously you can choose one of the cards that you detach. The next one is going to be Megalo and Infantry v Skill Drain. Now if you have Abyss Megalo on your field and your opponent flips off Skill Drain, and you also have an Infantry and you want to attack twice, or you want to use Infantry to destroy the Skill Drain, so you use Megalo's effect to tribute Infantry, and Infantry goes off and destroys Skill Drain, and then Megalo resolves, and then you get to attack twice. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Infantry is a trigger effect that activates. It was sent to the graveyard as an activation or resolution of a different card. So it starts a new chain because it's a trigger effect that activates in the graveyard. So Megalo tributes the Infantry, Skill Drain is already on the field, doesn't start a new chain or anything, it negates the Megalo, and then in a brand new chain, so Megalo resolves without any effect, and then Infantry activates in a brand new chain, destroys the Skill Drain. Obviously by that point Megalo's been negated and then nothing happens, but at least you still get to destroy the Skill Drain, so you can't really complain too much, you just don't get to attack twice. Next one up, Spellbook Tower, you know, the one that lets you put 1 card back on the bottom of your deck to draw, and then when it gets destroyed you can special summon. How would you destroy that with MST without them setting off the special summon effect? If you just MST Spellbook Tower on your turn, then generally they're just going to special summon unless they have Jargon or something. However, if you have MST set during a standby phase and they activate Spellbook Tower and they select one of their spellbooks and put it on the bottom of the deck before they draw, because you need to have a spellbook in your graveyard to put on the bottom of your deck first. If your opponent activates MST when you do that, because before you draw, because drawing is part of the resolution of that part of the effect, you can destroy the Spellbook Tower and it misses the timing to special summon a spellcaster from your deck equal to the number of spellbooks in your grave. So if you want to destroy Spellbook Tower without them getting that effect off, like the Jargon, summoning Jargon, which is bloody annoying, make sure you MST at the right time, and then the card becomes pretty much crap by that point. And the last thing I want to talk about, what happens when you have 2 Light and Darkness Dragons and your opponent activates a card. You will now and again face an opponent who is playing 2 Light and Darkness and they insist on summoning 2 of them at the same time, which is completely pointless. Some people say that, you know, they activate the card, say Dark Hole, to try and destroy both of them, and then Light and Darkness Dragon number 1 would negate the Dark Hole, and then Light and Darkness number 2 would negate the first Light and Darkness Dragon, and therefore it would negate the first one's effect to negate the Dark Hole. Dark Hole destroys them all, then you can get the effects off and blah blah blah. It doesn't work like that. Actually what happens is that the Dark Hole is activated, Light and Darkness Dragon, the first one of them, negates it, and then the second Light and Darkness Dragon becomes Chainlink 3, obviously the first one being Chainlink 2, and it attempts to negate the same card. So both of them try to negate Dark Hole, and obviously Dark Hole doesn't get negated by the one in Chainlink 3. Chainlink 2, Light and Darkness Dragon, resolves without an effect because the Dark Hole has already been negated, and that is pretty much it. It just happens like that, and Dark Hole gets negated, and there you go. So both of the Light and Darkness Dragons lose 500 attack. Yeah, so they didn't just get destroyed. You know, you can actually have two of them on the field at once. It just seems a little bit pointless. I hope you enjoyed these rulings. They are kind of relevant, but at the same time, you know, as the format's going to shift into a brand new era soon, you know, with Judgment of the Light and everything, these rulings won't come up as often, but they're still important to know, and you don't want to be caught out, especially you don't want to be misruled by a judge who doesn't understand, because I've had to deal with many judges in tournaments who just don't understand what they're talking about, and it's really frustrating having to finish, you know, get a game loss or get a warning because they don't understand what they're talking about, and I have to keep appealing to the head judge because they're stupid. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something today, and if you like this video, then definitely do comment and say that you liked it, and like the video and subscribe if you haven't. If you have already, thank you very much. And if it is really successful, then I'll definitely make some more of these because I think it is good to inform the player base. Until next time guys, the Thetcglover is out.